Lisa.
All right, good evening. It is 6 o'clock on 25th November. I'd like to call this meeting to order, regular meeting of the City Council in Madison. With that, we have invocation and Pastor Holly Woodall of Fellowship United Methodist Church.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Let's take a moment and go to God in prayer. Gracious, glorious, eternal God, thank you above all else. This is the week when we focus on all that we are grateful for. That starts and ends with you, God. So thank you for this beautiful life that you allow us to live together. Thank you for this beautiful city and all these people who care so much, who take time and effort and commitment and love and dedication to follow the right path and do what is best for all of us. Bless everyone who has come here tonight. Put a hedge of protection around those who make decisions for our city. Let us be guided by wisdom, by grace, and by mercy. And above all else, God, let us be guided by love for each other, for all of your world, and love for you, God, in everything we do. May we always and always be your hands and your feet and your heart in this world. God, just let us take a deep breath and to be present with each other, present with you, and present with the Holy Spirit that resides in all of us. God, all these things we pray in the name of your Son, Jesus the Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
Pastor. Follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, can we get the roll call, please?
Mayor Finley.
Here.
Councilmember Roblesky.
Here.
Councilmember Spears.
Here.
Councilmember Powell.
Here.
Councilmember Shaw.
Here.
Councilmember Bartlett.
Here.
Councilmember Denzine.
Here.
Council President Seifert.
Here. All right, looks like we have a quorum and everyone's here. So with that, I'm going to move into amendments to the agenda. I do actually have one amendment, and I apologize for probably not giving everybody a heads up earlier, but we had recording of our last work session that was held on the 20th of November. So I would like to bring forward resolution number 2024-410-R. I'll do that under my item in the minutes, but basically requesting authorization for that recording and publishing of those of that recording. So, are there any other amendments? All right. Okay. So, with that, we'll move into approval of the minutes. First up is the minutes from the regular meeting on 12 November.
Move to approve. Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? And get the vote, please.
Councilmember Powell.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw.
Aye.
Council President Seifert.
Aye.
Councilmember Roblesky.
Aye.
Councilmember Spears.
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett.
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
All right, motion passes. Now moving into presentations and awards. First up, we have an award or proclaiming December 2024 as Children's Cancer Awareness Month for the city of Madison. And Mayor will present a proclamation.
Yeah, if Patricia Haley is here, she'd meet me up front here. Teddy, I hit it too. So this is a proclamation for the Children's Cancer Awareness Month, and I'll read a couple of these. Approximately 10,500 children under the age of 15 will be diagnosed with cancer this year in the United States. After accidents, cancer is the second leading cause of death in children ages 1 to 14. Whereas the Mommy, I Have Cancer, Let's Fight Cinderella Ball, with the support of the organizations such as Cahaba Shrine, Charles Hyder Jr., 100 Black Men District Representative, Huntsville Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Zeta Phi Beta Sorority will bring awareness to the struggle that children must fight against cancer in the state of Alabama and the city of Madison. And I'll go down to this last paragraph. There are many success stories of children who have survived and thrived because of this treatment that they have received. We extend our love to the parents of the children who have lost children and for those who continue to fight against this dreaded disease. We salute every staff that works with the patients and the children and continue to support all efforts to increase awareness, screening, and research so that children can be saved in the future. So therefore, I, Paul Finley, Mayor of the City of Madison, do hereby proclaim the month of December 2024 as Children's Cancer Awareness Month. And I will give this to you, and I certainly appreciate you leading that, and would like you to say a couple words if you'd like to.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we get a picture right here? Let's get a picture of Tracy. Come that way just a little bit.
My name is Patricia Haley, and I am the CEO of Patricia Haley Charity. And what Patricia Haley Charity does is for a cancer patient, we will pay their rent, we will pay their utility, we will pay co-pays, we will buy medication, we will buy equipment, we provide transportation and food. Thank you very much. And on December the 7th, we're having our annual Mommy and Daddy, I Have Cancer Cinderella Ball, Let's Fight. I would love to invite each of you to come out and support. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, with that, we are going to move into public comments. And just remind the public that as you come up and speak, please mention your name and your district for the record. And everyone has 3 minutes. We do have 2 folks that have registered ahead of time, and so we'll call them. First one is Mr. James Lake. I have to commend you on your attire tonight, sir. Where Eagle. Where Eagle. Get them when we can.
As it said, my name is James Lake. I'm in District 1. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you.
I have a couple of comments that I would like to make. First of all, kudos. I see that as part of the contract for the widening of Hughes Road, there is a 2040 traffic study included in that. And I applaud you for that. I think it's probably 5 years overdue, but we all know the story behind that. I do wish that they, as they do their study, that they would consider the east-west corridors in town. It's really miserable, especially during rush hour, to try to get across the traffic lights that are apparently set for the average time and not making any adjustments for rush hour. Something to consider. Also, as you go across Sullivan, particularly on Mill and on the other road across.
Wardle?
Pardon?
Wardle?
No, I'm thinking more like, I'll think of it. I'm having a senior moment. Anyway, but as you go across those, there's a large hump in the middle of each one of those intersections. I could get 3 to 5 more cars through every one of those intersections per cycle if we would find a way to reduce the humps in the middle of the road. I know they're probably there for drainage, but every time we resurface the road, it increases the height of that. I don't drive a big car, so I have to slow down to practically nothing to keep from bottoming out. Okay, enough of that. My second comment is I'm concerned about the proposed additions to Toyota Field. As I've been reading a lot about that lately. My initial position has always been do not use public money for what is essentially a private enterprise, but we've already done that. What I'm concerned with is I've seen a study that the baseball field is not paying its own way. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what the study showed. What I do not want is to have another $30 million bond that we may have to pay with an increase in taxes to pay off a bond that was not paid off. And I would think that you would get more support, I'm running out of time, you would get more support if you would publish the actual data on the stadium and its costs and what's coming in. The study I saw said it's losing $8 million a year, which is being made up from lodging taxes. How long we'll be able to do that, I don't know. So I'm withholding my opinion on the increase and the putting in the boxes and so forth in the stadium until we can see the data, and I think the city should publish that data so that the citizens of this city will be able to know what the real story is. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Next up, we have Ms. Brower, Ms. Jocelyn Brower.
Good evening, Council. Jocelyn Brower, D4. I see multiple items on the agenda tonight, fast-tracking taxpayer dollars to subsidize sports team owners, builders, and developers. Let's not forget, this is a risk. 2024 will bring a close to 5 minor league baseball stadiums. Turnout numbers decrease over time, so stadiums are moved out to either suburban or to downtown areas like the Smokies Stadium. Hillsborough Park was built in 2013, and now 11 years later will be replaced right across the street from its original location. Trustmark Park in Mississippi lasted 20 years and will relocate to Columbus, Georgia, to a facility that has been rehabilitated on several occasions. What happens when the stadium bonds are finally paid in full? Yes, we will own the building and the maintenance. Will it then be time to tear down the stadium and build a new state-of-the-art facility? This seems like a money pit for taxpayers. When does it end? There's also talk recently about the possibility of minor league baseball cutting some of the minor leagues and turning it over to college baseball teams for development. They see minor leagues as costs and want to roll it back. We have a choice here. We can spend the minimum mandated $7 million by Ball Corps for upgrades, or to spend up to $30 million. The higher number will put our total investment over the $100 million mark for one pet project. That's an additional $23 million. Was there a return on investment study completed, and is it available to the taxpayers? Many older stadiums undergo renovations and upgrades over time to extend their usability and functionality. Ours is brand new. Let's do this in phases. It does not have to be done now. I urge you to build the one-story minimum visitor clubhouse required by Ball Corps and spend our taxpayer dollars and lodging tax revenue in other less risky ways that more of our residents will enjoy on a day-to-day basis. Safety and infrastructure come top of mind to me. Other parks and recreation projects, a pool for our swim team, and a venue space at Sunshine Oaks. We don't need to put all our eggs into one basket, so to speak. It's not a fair use of our taxpayer dollars with so many different wants and needs throughout the community. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone else that would like to address council? Okay.
Jennifer Coe, Ashley Estates, District 5, Council President. Okay, I want to put my 2 cents in for the baseball and the expansion of the stadium. The 2 items under legal, A, proposed ordinance 2024-405, authorizing amendment to Article 8, Section 10-230 of the code. This one will allocate the taxes from motels outside of the cooperative district, which I think is not a very, that doesn't seem like a very, that's not really a good plan. And then proposed ordinance authorizing amended lease, license, and the management agreement with Ball Corp. And that one looks like it's post-dated for January the 2026. Why are we rushing to push that through? I would urge that we just do the one story rather than do the 30 million for a stadium that cost 49 million. I think that was the original cost, and that's all.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
Margie Daly, Karen's District, District 7. Okay, so this bond lasts till 2043. The average of these stadiums are 3 to 10 years. That's it. So why are we doing this now? But we have a lot of alternatives to spending $30 million and not paying for party boxes for the elite of Madison County to meet, fundraise, gain sponsors and donors. We also have an issue with Councilman Greg Shore. I did speak to the Ethics Board, Brian Patterson, the attorney, and he says, yes, you very well may have a conflict of interest. I do have to go and get the forms notarized, and they'll be going into Mr. Patterson regarding your extra business you gain from the stadium. Okay, so what we could do is we could fix the roads. Oh, wait a minute. We could give traffic lights, street lights, health and safety to the taxpayers that have been footing this bill, and we don't see anything. You say we're making money, but we know that they got, 2 COVID loans of almost $880,000 one year that paid their way. It didn't even pay the $1 million. So that year they gave nothing. Okay, so we could also put a dome on, like the one in Miami, with some good insurance and use the venue 365 days instead of giving party boxes to maybe 10% of Madison City can use those party boxes. Because we called to use them, and they're too expensive for, you say you want to put a wedding in there? Okay. You said that all long ago, one person got married, the ones that met at the ball field, and it wasn't really a big service or whatever. Okay? How bad is this proposal that you refuse to give it to the taxpayers? I did my legal freedom of information for the spreadsheets you guys have, and I have not gotten them. Now, the taxpayers are entitled to freedom of information. Now, North Carolina is a year older than ours, and they're not doing anything because they are not MLB, like we are not Major League Baseball. So North Carolina is not doing it. We don't have to do it. Let's take care of the health and safety of your constituents, the ones that put you in office. I mean, you have no care for us. Our streets need work. We need sidewalks. We need all kinds of things, traffic lights. We need signs that make sense, red lights instead of yellow lights so that people aren't banging into each other. Yesterday, a car went straight across Hughes Road into Walgreens bushes over there. I mean, the traffic situation, you guys may have done a traffic study, but you're not paying attention. And again, I mentioned that Mr. Greg Shore should be recusing himself.
All right,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Daly, thank you. Anyone else? Ma'am?
Rachel Homelak in District 4. Just simply here to thank the city, thank the county. Sounds like the library is moving in the right direction. Thank you for getting the obscene and sexually explicit materials out of the children's section, and I hope that we will continue to do that and do what's right for the community. So just wanted to stop by and say thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, is there anyone else wanting to address council? All right, seeing none, we'll close public comments and move to the next portion of the agenda, which should be consent agenda and Finance Committee report.
Yes, we had a Finance Committee meeting today at 5 o'clock, and the Finance Committee has reviewed the regular and periodic bills. And in the consent agenda, We have appropriations to the Madison Chamber of Commerce, Huntsville Hospital Foundation, Emergency Management Agency, the Enrichment Center, the National Children's Advocacy Center, and we also have a facilities use agreement with the Veterans of Foreign Wars. We have a resolution with Heartland Business Systems for backup services for IT. We have, we're going to authorize an amendment to the transportation agreement with the school system for the buses for the the Christmas parade. And we're going to solicit, allow facilities and grounds to solicit bids for dumpsters. We have bids for the Public Safety Training Center and the demolition and excavation package for Toyota Field, the left field building project. To solicit the bids for Palmer and Dublin Park soccer lighting installation project, the playground installation, and we're going to accept donations, an appropriation from Madison County Commissioner Steve Haraway to be used for the purchase of vehicles for Public Works and the Police Department, and also a donation from L. Tucker for the Senior Center. And with that, I move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and 2 seconds, either Councilman Shaw or Councilman Powell. Sure. All right. Any discussion on that? Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Council President Seifert,
Aye.
Councilmember Roblesky,
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
All right, motion passes, and many thanks there to County Commission and Commissioner Haraway for that amazing donation there, and also L. Tucker for theirs as well. So, okay, we're going to move into presentations and reports. Mayor Finley, you're up.
All right, we'll go first, and a couple things that out of the public comments. And again, whether you're for the venue or against the venue, I think it is critical that we get the right information out, and I know there is a lot out there on the internet. To make sure, going back to Mr. Lake's comment, the good news for us is the funding structure that we put in place for the venue generated $3.6 million last year, and the bond payment is $3.1. When you say subsidized, it is subsidized with lodging tax. It was the plan that council put in place. We raised our lodging tax in 2017, directly correlating with knowing we wanted to do the anchor in town Madison, and that's where our additional lodging tax goes. Huntsville did the same thing, and they used theirs and the updates that they continue to do for the VBC and the different things that go on there. So when you say subsidized, it's really a planned piece that allowed us to accomplish that. And then the second thing that I heard out of the first year, that Ball Corps paid nothing during the COVID year, that's completely incorrect. Ball Corps worked their tails off when they couldn't have things, and we ended up getting about $750,000 out of the $1 million that they had guaranteed us during a COVID year, which was phenomenal. And from that point forward, they've met their or exceeded their minimum requirements. So a couple things there that I just wanted to make sure we clarified. I also want to thank Steve Haraway. He is an exceptional partner from the County Commission. We're able to get our capital requirements and then go to Steve, our County Commissioner, and say, here's where we could use some help. And so him helping us to the tune of that number, almost $130,000, is very much appreciated. And I also want to thank Kim Lindsay out of the Mayor's Office. As you start to see over the next probably 8 or maybe that's not true, 6 city council meetings, the outside appropriations that are funded by this council, Kim's the one who manages that entire process of accepting those, getting them to us to put into the budget. Once council approves those, she sets the things up with the respective organizations, and in turn tonight, those 5 organizations will receive the funding that council did from an outside appropriation standpoint. So Kim does a great job. I think we've got her 1 more year. She's about ready to retire, and she's been through several mayors, and so we will work hard to make sure that we continue that high level of quality. And then lastly, I truly am thankful, and I appreciate your prayer. Thankful for this community, for the residents that we have, the department heads, the employees that we have. We live in an incredible area, and I know I'm very thankful for that in addition to many other things. And with that said, that's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you, Mayor. All right, Council District Number 1.
Yes, sir. Well, I, along with the mayor and Council President Seifert, attended the annual State of the County address with Mac McCutcheon a couple of weeks ago. The future of Madison County is bright. One concern that we've had, and we've probably all received an email or a text about or stopped in Costco about, is what are you going to do about the traffic? And so just want to thank Joey Cece for his work that he is doing to help alleviate some of that traffic on Triana at 72, looking at some various traffic studies, so very much appreciate his support with that. Want to also give a shout out to Tracy Gillespie, who led our Civic Awareness Academy. Council President Seifert and I went on the road to the community center last week, where we were the 6th of 6 weeks of learning about how our city works, how our city plays, how our city is safe, all the different aspects of city growth, and city involvement and engagement, and would just encourage anyone that might be interested in learning more about the city and getting involved and taking that next step. We'll have our spring class sign up in January, and it's limited to 30 people. Word is getting out about how great it is. They meet at various venues here, the community center. I think they went to Toyota Field. So it's just a great way to learn more about how things work. And then last, I just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, be safe. Enjoy this time with your family. We are blessed beyond measure. That's all I have.
Awesome, thank you. District Number 2.
Yes, I wanted to also thank Steve Haraway for his generous donation to our Public Works and Police Department. One of the things I want to comment about is just the cooperation that we have with our county and our surrounding municipalities. We are so blessed to live in an area where people look to their neighbors and try to cooperate. And we've got many, many projects that have happened and are in works where we do, as y'all all know, our borders intertwine and do all kinds of crazy things. And without the cooperation for the communities and around us, we would not be able to make a lot of these projects happen. And so I'm just really grateful for those relationships. And I wanted to wish also everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And I am so thankful to be a part of this community and to get to meet and know you that are here in the audience. And also, I appreciate y'all taking the time to come and tell us what your concerns are. And that's all.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Council District Number 3.
No new business.
All right, Number 4.
Yes, I have one new item. There's a butterfly garden at Dublin Park that they've been working on for a while, and Corey reached out and got some quotes from a couple of different people on putting in the irrigation system up there, and wanted to know if council would fund it. So with that, I'd like to approval for resolution 2024-386R, not to exceed $6,000.
Second. Save the butterflies.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that? No? Can we get the vote?
Councilmember Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Council President Seifert,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
All right, motion passes. Looks like you got friends of butterflies up
No
there.
doubt, Betty.
Anything else?
That's it.
That's it. All right, let's move on to District Number 5.
Okay, a number of our council members and the mayor attended the Chambers Gala last Monday night. They did an outstanding job, and you'll have seen one of the appropriations going to the chamber. I just want to congratulate them for an outstanding event. And then to piggyback on Mara's comment about Tracy Gillespie, I will say that when I was able to rotate around the tables for the Civic Awareness Academy, every single member of the class just really sung your praises and said, please keep doing this. So it's highly valued, and thank you, Tracy. That's all I have.
Awesome. And District 6.
I would just like to thank all those who came out and spoke about the stadium. I hope others that are out there listening will also put in the effort to find out what is going on and come and speak before us on the December 4th meeting. when the vote is set. I really appreciate those that are really looking into this in a depth and seeing, does it fit Madison or does it not? We get to make the decision, but I do listen to the constituents. So I really hope that more people will put in the time and come and speak to all of us. And everyone else, have a very, very happy Thanksgiving. I am very, like everyone else, we're all proud to live in this community. It is a wonderful community. We are so blessed to be here. And I feel blessed to be the representative for District 6. And I appreciate the support y'all give me. And that's it. Thank you.
All right. And so with mine, for District 7, I will like to bring up as a motion the Resolution 2024-410-R, authorizing video recording and publishing of the November 20th, 2024 City Council work session.
Second?
All right, we have a, I don't know, can I even motion that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we got a motion.
Bringing it up as the motion, so
I did, didn't I?
You have the
Wow.
power. You
I
have
thought if I did it with authority, it might, you know, so, all right, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that? All right, can we get the vote, please?
Council President Seifert,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
Was that Denzine? Karen, I didn't hear.
Oh, did I say aye?
All right.
Is it?
Okay, motion passes. Okay, only other things I have, and I think some of y'all touched on them, so I'm not going to jump on top of them, but lots of events this month that we've all been to, but some events coming up, right? We've got December coming up. You guys check your calendars. Apparently, about a month from today, there's a big holiday coming, Christmas. So only so many days left to get out in the stores. So, and also events coming up. I think there's something on December 6th or something. So just kind of keep your eyes out for things going on as we celebrate the Christmas holidays. And especially this week, we have Thanksgiving. So if you haven't planned on that, surprise, it is this week. So, but do want to mention December 4th, as has been mentioned already. We do have a special called meeting. That topic for that meeting will be to discuss what we'll talk about here in a minute, the first reading. It will be to bring that up for a potential vote. So, and then immediately following that, we will have a shorter intermission, but we will have a work session where the topic of that is the comprehensive plan that actually went before Planning Commission last Thursday and is out for public comment. So I'll please ask, there is a website on the city's area. Please go out there, look at it. We do request public feedback and input into that. This is not our plan. This is our collective plan. So it's only as good as the input we get. So, okay. All that is all I've got. So we're going to move into board and committee appointments, and we have 3 of those tonight. And Mara, I think you said this is you.
Yes, sir, they are. These are all on behalf of the Industrial Development Board, and they are all reappointments. So the first one I would like to request is for place 1 for David Barrett to be reappointed with an expiration date of November 22nd, 2030.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? All right. With that, we will put Mr. Barrett in place 1 there by consensus.
Thank you. My second one is Missy Martin, also a reappointment to place 2 with a term expiration also of November 22nd, 2030.
All right. Any other appointments? Okay. With that, we will put Mrs. Martin, in that position by consensus.
Thank you. And then the last one is our current chair, Taryn Thorpe, to place 3, also with a term expiration of November 22nd, 2030, which just sounds really far away, but I guess it's not.
All right. All right. Are there any other appointments or nominations? No? All right, well, that, we will put Mr. Thorpe there by consensus.
Great. Thank you all.
Thank you. And, okay, so we're going to move into public hearings, and we have one tonight, and Miss Mary Beth will walk us through that.
You have before you proposed ordinance number 2024-327, and this is a public hearing to zone a property that is proposed for annexation as R1A, which is a low-density residential designation. The property in question is vacant. It consists of 0.63 acres, so it is well below the threshold of the city's growth policy. Later in your agenda, you have the action on the annexation. So should you go forward and approve the zoning, it's, effectively contingent upon you subsequently approving the annexation. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Well, the public hearing, are there any? No.
Okay.
I guess. So with that, we'll open the public hearing and take any comments from the public.
Margie Daly, District 6, Karen's district. Okay, so this is the same area that we just didn't do take ag to low residential. It's the same area over there, Powell Road, where the farm is. No? You're saying no, it's not the same area?
No, ma'am.
So this has no chance of flooding when we do this, flooding the other areas? I mean, I know we're all on a 100-year floodplain.
Margie, this is already a subdivision, and this particular lot is empty, as Mary Beth said, but most of those lots in that already have houses on them.
I understand that, but it's still agricultural, and we have to change the zone. It's not agricultural? Maura's shaking her head no. AG going to low residential.
Well, it's
going from
it's outside of the city limits right now, and we're going to zone it R1 if it comes in the city limits.
And when Mary Beth comes back up, we can get her to address the flooding issue, because none of us would have that. She will have that when she comes back.
Yeah, well, it's my understanding the whole city's on a flood zone, and that's why when we put this thing behind City Hall, the cemetery over there, the historic cemetery, the stones were floating because the water has to go somewhere when you keep building houses. So you've got 5 or 4 subdivisions, I'm not sure what's under the clock, and then you got ag. So the ag right now takes all the water, rainwater, and soaks into the ground, just like right behind City Hall did. So when you put houses there, the water no longer gets absorbed by whatever foliage is there or greenery, and the water has to be dispersed. Will it go into the other subdivisions? Is there a plan? Has there been any study on that piece of property before we go forward with it? That's about all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. With that, we'll close the public hearing. And Ms. Mary Beth, if you don't mind, would you please comment as to the
Sure.
drainage?
Well, and then there were a couple of items Ms. Daly mentioned, but, and as was indicated, this is an existing subdivision. It's called Morris Estates Subdivision. The city has annexed lots on an individual basis over the years, probably about 140 lots. We're not aware of any flooding issues or concerns in that subdivision or the immediate surrounding area. When a house comes forward for a building permit, it is looked at by engineering. And also, none of this area in particular is in a flood zone, and most of the city is not in a flood zone or in the floodplain. There are areas that are, adjacent to the creeks, but the majority of Madison is not in a flood zone. And I think that addressed all of the comments or questions.
All right, thank you. So with that, public hearing is closed. Can I get a motion and a second, please?
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion by council? No? Can we get the vote, please?
Councilmember Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Council President Seifert,
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
Ah,
All right, motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, first up in department reports is going to be facilities and grounds.
Facilities and Grounds has one resolution for your consideration tonight. Resolution 2024-403-R, accepting proposal J85617047961 from Train to purchase HVAC equipment for the Public Senate Annex project through the Omni Purchase Cooperative for $373,674 to be paid from Fund 38.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I would just add, based on one of the public comments we had, Mr. Brower, this is public safety. Just to remind everybody here, this is a public safety building of 38,000 square feet that builds Fire Station 4 in town Madison. And then it also adds about 20,000 square feet for our police department, which gives them the ability to stretch out and do what they need to do. So we definitely are funding public safety. We fully agree with what she said.
Okay, all right, we have a motion and a second. Well, no discussion. Let's have the vote, please. Sorry.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw,
Aye.
Council President Seifert,
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
ah.
All right, motion passes. Thank you, sir. All right, next up is fire and rescue.
We have one item tonight, resolution number 2024-409-R, approving a professional services agreement with Vickers Consulting Services for grant writing services in relation to an Assistant to Firefighters grant for $1,500 to be paid from the fire department budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, have a motion by Councilwoman Robleski and a second by Councilwoman Spears. Okay. Can you talk just a little bit about what this is and what it'll go towards?
So the AFG grant is a FEMA grant, and we've been applying for this for a few years now. So we've been working with Vickers Consulting to help us write that grant. So we've been successful for the past 2 terms of the grant. We got a SCBA grant earlier this year, and then in August, we were awarded a grant to replace our PPE washers and dryers. So this particular grant will be for radios.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Our radios are 2010, so we're running into some issues with parts and everything being supported. So this is an effort to get some radios.
Awesome. Unfortunately, there's no more Radio Shack, so we can't go there anymore, right? So, all right, any other discussion? Okay, can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Council President Seifert,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
All right, motion passes. Thank you, Chief. Thank you. All right, next up is Human Resources.
All right, I'll be presenting for HR and Legal tonight. First, for your consideration, under HR, I have a couple of items that are follow-ups to a HR committee meeting that we held earlier this evening. And the first of those is Resolution Number 2024-404-R to authorize changes to the city's job classification plan to add a couple of new jobs for the Parks and Recreation Department. And the first of these is a part-time receptionist at grade 101, which starts at about $16 an hour. And the Parks and Rec Department has asked for 2 receptionists specifically for the senior center to greet seniors there, to help monitor registrations, to help with ceramics and the whole world of senior center activities. And this was authorized in the new fiscal year budget. And the second item is a proposed transportation coordinator for the Parks and Recreation Department. And the hope for this position is that this position will take over all of the scheduling and coordinating duties that the City of Huntsville currently manages, and that the city has a contract with the City of Huntsville for about $15,000 per year. So this will save the city some time and cost in administration by bringing this function in-house, and that's proposed for a grade 108 at a starting salary of about $53,440.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. I think Councilwoman Bartlett that was you that seconded, right? Denzine did. All right. Okay, any discussion? All right, can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine,
Aye.
Council President Seifert,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett.
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
All right, thank you. The second item is resolution number 2024-390R, and this is a resolution to authorize changes to the pay scale for the fire department. And this resolution is a follow-up item to the city's compensation study. We did have appeals from a number of firefighters, many of whom were in the position of driver. And so based on the raises that they got and the duties and responsibilities that they handle, we would like to propose that when people are promoted from the rank of firefighter, that entry-level rank, up to the level of driver, and they've done all of the necessary testing and jumped through all of the hoops to be able to handle that role, that they receive a 14% raise. And under the pay scale that was originally recommended by Evergreen, that promotional percentage was about 7%. To go along with that, we'd also like to propose a salary percentage increase of 18% from the rank of battalion chief to the rank of deputy chief. Our hope is that these two changes will promote retention in the fire department, and the total cost of these raises will be about $139,000 added to the fire department salary budget. If approved, then the HR department can implement these raises with the next pay period. And Roger says that we can actually do the budget amendment at mid-year budget time, and that's reflected in the resolution.
Move to approve.
Second.
I'm going to let you pick. We got a motion in a second, but I'm going to let you pick there, Ms. Thomas.
Okay, Karen Denzine. Get a second, Laura.
I made the motion, and I'll just say the HR committee's been very involved in this process. It's been about an 18-month process. I think we got an awful lot of it right. We had one swing and a miss, but we put in a procedure where the employee could make an appeal process, that it would go through a chain of command. And so I am encouraged that this straightens it out and it brings parity to the fire department. And I would just, like, on a personal note, say that if there's ever an employee that has a concern like this, to please not turn to social media, because that was where I found out about it, that there was a problem, was reading social media, and I had no idea. And I'm going to be honest, it really hurt, because I thought we had done everything right. Now we have done everything right, and we've put in a system in place to correct what was missed before. And I'm so appreciative to you, Megan, and your HR staff, Mia, Laura, everyone that was involved, the HR committee, Renee and Greg. It was truly a team effort with the mayor leading the charge. I feel like we're always kind of chasing fire a little bit. I'm hoping that this puts it to bed and that we're able to accomplish what we needed to accomplish through this last measure. And that's all I have.
I would just like to add my thanks for taking care of this, Megan.
You're very welcome, and I'd like to give a shout out to Steve Smith, who very carefully analyzed this issue and brought forth this proposal. And we ran through it with Brandy, and we ran through it with Evergreen, and we think that this will go a long way toward continuing to improve our pay scale.
Okay, all right, well, thank you for all the hard work. Is there any discussion? Any further discussion? No? Can we get the vote, please?
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine, Council President Seifert,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. And next up will be legal.
So under legal, I have two items tonight for a first reading, and both of these have to do with the contemplated expansion of Toyota Field. The first is proposed ordinance number 2024-405 to authorize an amendment to the city's lodging tax code. And you all have before you an updated version of this ordinance that I circulated right before the meeting. The purpose of this ordinance is to remove an earmark that was put in place to help the Margaritaville project, which did not proceed. So that's the main purpose of this ordinance, because we want to get our lodging tax proceed dispositions correct in anticipation of the ball core deal, which contemplates certain lodging tax proceeds from certain hotels opening in various places in the city to be dedicated to ballpark debt service. In addition to that, we want to make sure that we have protected the lodging tax dedications that are going to help to pay for the interchange improvements over in town Madison. So the updates that are before you are working toward accomplishing that. And Roger and I are reviewing that together, and we'll be circulating an updated version of this ordinance to you tomorrow, and as soon as possible, and certainly publishing it for the public agenda packet before the second reading, which we'd like to hold on December 4th if you're comfortable moving forward. And if you're not, then we would propose to move that out to December 9th, but we'll keep you posted along the way. And if you have any questions now, I'll be happy to take them or take notes and then get back to you as soon as possible if you have any other questions.
I've got one question. When we read this ordinance Wednesday night at the work session, and we had a number of charts that were presented in terms of what we would anticipate the lodging taxes to generate, this version amends that significantly from Wednesday night, and so that instead of all future lodging taxes going to help pay for the stadium debt, you're taking into account now future hotels being built inside town Madison. How does that impact the charts that we saw Wednesday night?
So this is a reflection of the charts that were circulated Wednesday night. And that is purely what this is intended to do, is just to document in one place in the city code the council's intentions. And so Roger and I are continuing to refine the language to ensure that it does that. But this is not intended at all to change any of the spreadsheets that were circulated on Wednesday.
So everything we received Wednesday night, we can still
correct.
look at it for the future vote?
It just puts it all into one ordinance. So it takes, all of it into one. So it does not change that chart that you had.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and should you have any other questions in the coming week, please let me know, and I'll be happy to address that and be prepared to address it on December 4th.
Okay.
And the second item under legal is a first reading on proposed ordinance number 2024-406, and this authorizes an amended and restated lease license and management agreement with Ballcore LLC, which was originally adopted in 2018. And the purpose of these amendments is to restructure certain revenue and expense provisions, to provide for collaboration in the construction of the new facility to be situated adjacent to left field at the venue. And this specifically incorporates the 4-story initial plans and specifications, as well as initial plans for parking improvements, and also provide for the parking improvements. And if this is approved, it will authorize the city's high-end project budget of approximately $30 million. We do have some blanks to continue to fill in to the agreement. This afternoon, we had a very productive conversation with our city team and with Ballcore, and you'll be seeing some updates to this within the next couple of days. We have circulated an initial agreement for public review, and we published a notice ahead of your consideration and vote, which is now anticipated for December 4th. Some of the things that we're working to update for you all are updates to the exhibit that details the venue license fees to show how things work if the sales and liquor taxes are not a part of the calculation. And Ballcore has asked for that, so we're working to show you how that matches up with our spreadsheets, and then also show you, just continue to refine and help everyone understand the project better. The facilities department has also been meeting with the architects, and they're continuing to work on plans and specifications for the entire project, including the list of fixtures, furnishings, and equipment for the ballpark. So our team is meeting to confirm exactly what equipment the city is responsible for providing for the venue, and how Ballcore will help us to pay for that over time. We've received an initial concept plan that shows the parking that's going to be situated on the new lot that the city is purchasing. And we're continuing to work on refining those plans and how we'll be working them into the bid process coming up over the next few months. We're working on refining some language regarding signage in the ballpark to make sure it's consistent with our zoning ordinance, but gives Ballcorp the latitude that it needs to make certain revenues. We are continuing to work on our maintenance plans for the ballpark, and so we're working to develop a long-term capital maintenance plan in coordination with our facilities department and Ballcorp as called for in the original agreement. And as I said, we're continuing to work on the lodging tax language to confirm that all of that is correct. And finally, so those are all of the potential changes that we're working on, and we'll update you as soon as we possibly can turn a new draft. And I'd like to wrap up by saying a part of this is making sure that Major League Baseball is okay with the plans and specifications for the contemplated improvements, and that they've had a chance to review the language in the agreements. If you have had a chance to read certain portions of the agreement, there are specific rules cited that Major League Baseball requires, and so we want to make sure that language is in there. We want to give them a chance to review, so we'd like to continue to keep our schedule going. And according to Ballcorp's counsel, who's been involved in discussions with Major League Baseball, and he's been reached out to his contacts there, we believe that we're absolutely on track to approval, and we'll just continue to send information to them as soon as possible to help you all make your decision.
Okay. With that, Megan, I want to thank you and the rest of staff, Roger and Mayor, Mary Beth, Ballcorp, Ballcorp Legal for the meeting that was held earlier today. I mean, you had these items here, I think I count up 8 that you went through, that very detailed. You went through all those. I think most of them we actually got to resolution on. Mm-hmm. You know, bringing everybody to the table, and Councilman Shaw and Councilwoman Spears, that we were able to, you know, sit down and just have everybody there at the table and help work through it all. So thank you for your leadership there and working through that. So are there any questions?
I have a couple. When do you anticipate having the final version that you want us to vote on the 4th?
Well, by Wednesday at the latest. We are.
This week?
Yeah, this week, yes.
Do you have a red line version from the original lease?
I will tomorrow.
Okay. I would like to see the red line.
Based on today's conversations, I'll be working to perfect that red line version with them tomorrow, and then I'll circulate it as soon as we believe we've met what we discussed today in the meeting.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
That was my question too, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Megan.
Okay, next up, we have planning.
The first item is proposed ordinance number 2024-326, and this is for the annexation of the property we were discussing under the public hearing, the 0.63 acres there at the northwest corner of Cardinal Drive and Powell Road. This is to annex the property. This was, approved by the Planning Commission, recommended. There was no issues at the Planning Commission meeting for this annexation.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion, a couple seconds. Yeah, we'll give it to Powell. He's feeling lonely. Any comments?
Mary Beth, if approved, how many houses can be put on that?
One.
Based on one house based on our, okay.
Yes.
Okay, can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Spears?
Aye.
Councilmember Powell?
Aye.
Council President Seifert?
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski?
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw?
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett?
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine?
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
And your next item is proposed ordinance number 2024-353, and this is a second reading for vacation of a portion of a utility and drainage easement in the rear yard at 101 Marquise Way. And this is just so that they can do some rear yard improvements. All of the City departments and the utilities have signed off on the vacation of easement, so we're recommending approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
I think I worked on that house at one point. I think I got recused.
Okay.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert, Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Council President Seifert,
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw, Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
All right, motion passes.
Thank you.
Mary Beth, before you go, I did a quick look on a line. I don't see anything on the website about the comprehensive plan.
So the comprehensive plan has its own website. It's MadisonOnTrack2045.com. And if you go onto that website, you can go to the downloads page on that website. And on the right-hand side of the download, you're going to see all of the draft chapters for the comprehensive plan. And then under the plan progress section at the very bottom, it talks about the fact that we will be having a public open house on the comp plan on January 6th.
Perfect. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. I just,
Should we put a link?
well, I just asked.
There is actually on our website.
Under planning?
Yeah, there is, but I'll make sure that it's prominent, and then I'll get with Samantha, and we can have her push that out.
That'd be great.
Sure thing. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay, and last but certainly not least is police.
My favorite people tonight.
Good to be a favorite tonight.
It's just because you have a gun.
This is resolution number 2024-407R, and it's authorizing a MOU that actually already exists, that we just had to redo it because there was some wording that had to be done by the FBI. And this is a MOU with the FBI's Tennessee Valley Regional Computer Forensics Laboratory Program. For those of you who don't know, this is a task force out at Redstone, and they work a lot of different computer-related crimes, some of the most important of which are tracking down child predators and child porn. And our member of this task force is also has a dog that was donated to us a few months ago that actually sniffs out electronic media and has already been used on several search warrants and found hidden hard drives and other electronic media. So we're fortunate to have that dog. We're the only ones in northern Alabama that has something like that.
Move to approve?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Thank you.
All right, can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine, Council President Seifert,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Thank you, Chief.
Chief.
Okay, moving into miscellaneous business and announcements, I do want to make sure that clarify, and I think I may have confused in the past, so that December 4th special call meeting will start at 6, and we'll be here. Immediately following that, with a short intermission, we will follow up with the work session. So, all right. Any other?
I have one question. When will the new drafts and everything be made available to the public? Should they have a chance to look at it before we vote?
Megan, what do you think?
My goal is to get the short agenda packet for that meeting published by the end of the day this Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay.
Tracking toward that so people have a week to look at everything.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, anything else?
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Got him.
I'm going to take it.
I got it.